Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a nice holiday weekend, whether it was Easter or Passover, or if you're celebrating Ramadan. Happy spring, all of it. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about boundaries. I'm going to just a little bit about what they are, and then the 6 types of boundaries, and then one really cool spiritual fun fact about boundaries that you may or may not know about. I'm late today. I tried to squeeze in a supermarket shop before then, but I sometimes think I have way more time than I actually do. So anyway, boundaries. And actually, time is one of the boundaries. So, I want holidays always bring up boundaries, right? And setting boundaries. And if I could find this really funny meme that I found on, I think it was Instagram the other day, I'm going to post it because it says, I'll just post it and you'll have to take a look for it because it's really funny. But, I want to know, how are you at setting boundaries in your life? Drop it below. I would love to hear, are you good at it? Are you not so good at it? Are you good with some people? Are you not so good with other people? I, of working on myself for my entire life, have gotten pretty good at setting boundaries. But I have to say that one of the by proxy lessons of Jack's death was being able to set really clear boundaries. I was like, fuck no, I ain't doing that. Or, I was just like, nope, can't deal. So, at certain times in your life, your boundaries may be stronger than other times. Okay. Here's the other thing. Boundaries are different for everyone. Oh, I have a stretching dog that just moved my camera thingy. So, they're different for everyone. And they also differ based on who you're with and where you are. Okay. So your boundaries are going to be different if you're working and you're talking with your boss or whatever versus hey, I'm going to a concert with my best friend. Right. And so they're different. They're super malleable and they're different depending on where you are and who you're with. The other thing is that it's a spectrum, right? So some people have boundaries that are super rigid and super closed and they're not going to let anyone or anything in. It's all, it's based on family of origin, it's based on trauma, it's based on culture, it's based on a lot of stuff, right? And then on the other side of the continuum are people who have really loose and really open boundaries and they're letting everybody in, and they're kind of like an energetic garbage dump, essentially, where you're just absorbing everything and you're saying yes and all the things. And so the goal, again, is to have them be pliable, right? So there's no right or wrong, but to, maybe it's with a specific person where you're just like, I'm not going to share this information with you, in your head, or you could verbally say it as well. Or, the key is really to understand that, you could say no and it's going to be okay. And that they're pliable. So you don't have to share everything with everybody all the time. And it's okay also if you do want to share some stuff. And so when I was doing live retreats, and I'm still thinking about doing one for the summer, so I'm kind of thinking July 9th through 11th, I think if that's a weekend. Yeah, I think it's July 9th. I'm kind of thinking of doing a local Seattle retreat. So, and in that, I do a really cool boundaries exercise, which is really neat because it kind of moves people around the room. And then you're just like, oh, whoa, okay. I thought I had I thought I was pretty open, but I'm over here, down here. Anyway, I don't want to ruin it in case anybody's interested in coming to the retreat. And if you are, then DM me or drop it in here and let me know, because I'll get a wait list started and all that kind of fun stuff. But there are 6 types of main boundaries. One is physical boundaries. Okay, this is my car keys, right? Material objects. It's your purse or any sort of material belonging, and object that you might have that is yours. It also pertains to your physical boundaries, like how comfortable are you with somebody in your physical space? Okay, so I am a total hugger, and if I'm feeling it, I'm gonna be like, can I give you a hug? And I'll ask, so I'm not just intruding on somebody's boundaries. But I am also super like if you were in my personal space, like I'm gonna let you know, right? I'm either gonna take a step back, even this, I feel like it's like too close. But like, even, it's like, okay, I'm going to take a step back, and then, or I'll just say, hey, look, you're in my physical space and I need to take a step back. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, not you, me. I just know my energy field and I know what I'm comfortable with. So, the next one are your emotional boundaries, okay? And it's how much you're expressing or repressing your feelings. And also about how people can validate or invalidate your feelings, okay? Like, so if you hear people are like, oh, you're making a big deal out of this, or there's no reason to be upset, that is an example of somebody crossing your emotional boundary, okay? It's also learning, like I said before, who you're sharing your feelings with, like who, where, and when. Whoops, there's my dog stretching again. When you're feeling your personal feelings. So like, are you sharing them with like your BFF, like on the couch, or are you sharing them with like your boss and your coworkers and whoever else is going to listen, right? So it's how you are sharing your feelings, essentially. The next one is intellectual. Okay, so this is intellectual. This is your thoughts, your beliefs, and your ideas. Okay, it's also how open you are to someone else's ideas or beliefs or thoughts, okay? That might be different from your own. And, and I feel like if we are all these souls living here in the United States, because primarily that's where you're all from here, there's so much conflict about like, religion, politics, vaccines, like whatever. And so, I was having this conversation yesterday, that it's like, maybe we were all put on this planet and put in the States because we're not a homogeneous community, right? Other countries are pretty homogeneous, and then they have, some other cultures thrown in there, but we are like, our country was made on immigrants from all over and different belief systems, that it's like, how open are you to somebody else's belief system? Like, you might not have to agree with them, because here's the deal. It's a belief system. You are not going to change somebody else's belief system, okay? However, you could still be open to it. You could still be like, hey, you know what? Their beliefs are totally different than mine, and I don't agree with them, and they're a good person. And so maybe it's about just being open to somebody else's belief system and ideas and thoughts, and also being able to hold space for like, hey, I don't believe that, but hey, you know what? You're a good person, and vice versa, right? And so that essentially is an intellectual boundary, right? Your openness to another person's thoughts, thoughts and beliefs, and ideas, okay? And also, like, how are you with that? Like, do you get argumentative? Like, do you get defensive when somebody else's beliefs are different than your own? Or can you hold that cognitive dissonance, which is where you could hold two opposing thoughts within your own mind and be okay with it? So that is intellectual. Then you got spiritual, which is like emotional and intellectual, but it's connected to your beliefs, right? About God, about religion, about spirituality, okay? And how open are you to other people's beliefs? Then sexual, is the next boundary, right? And what's your comfort level with sexual touch? What's your comfort level with sexual activity? What's your comfort level about being able to verbalize no, and this isn't okay? And I know as women, there's this research or this thing that 1/3 of women have been sexually assaulted. And I disagree with that. I think 1/3 of women have reported some sort of sexual assault, right? And again, everything is a continuum. I believe 99% of us have been. I believe every last woman in this group has had some sort of sexual advance, whether it, was a verbal one, or whether on the other side of the spectrum, you were sexually assaulted and raped. So think about that, and it's really not cool, obviously, right? And I'm including myself in that number. And so I just feel like there's so many women that have had this experience, and we have to start talking about it and normalizing it. I mean, that was what the whole Me Too movement was about. So there's that's the sexual boundary. And then this is a good one, and people always forget this one, and I talked about it at the beginning, and it is time. Okay, time is such a good one for the people pleasers out there. And again, recovering people pleaser, right? So I'm including myself. And it's who's taking up so much of your time? What is taking up so much of your time? Like, are you energetically drained? Are you energetically tapped out? Are you giving your time away? Like, are you the person who can't say no to anyone, and you're constantly overgiving, and then you're like, oh my God, I have no time? Okay, like that. Here's the beauty. When you start setting boundaries and you stop saying yes to everything, you get so much time back. We all have 24 hours in a day. And it's like, yeah, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. Like, thanks for, thinking of me, but no, I'm going to lay in my bed and watch television, which, by the way, is what I did on Friday. Like, I did some stuff worked in the morning, and then I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to take a nap and watch some crap television shows. And I said no to everyone, and I did that, and it was wonderful. And then I wound up having a really great afternoon with a girlfriend after the nap. And so, how are you giving your time away? Okay. And the two main ways to set boundaries, like I said, one is learn how to say no. It's a complete sentence. And the other way is speaking up, right? Because a lot of people have a problem, especially women, saying, hey, no, this isn't going to work for me, because there's that fear of like not being liked or being judged or being shamed or whatever. And so 2 simple ways to do it: speak up and say no. Now for the really cool fun fact about boundaries. And I love sharing this part. So your boundaries, okay, it is a psychological term for your aura, for your energy field. Okay. So think about the one, like that physical space one I was talking about. Like, do you have a close talker that you know? If you do, like, feel how it feels in your body. Does your stomach get tight? Does it squirm? Like, does your chest get tight? Like, what happens if somebody is in your physical space? What happens if somebody says an opposing belief or thought or feeling that you might have? The key is to tune in to your body and feel the sensations that are going on within your body, because that is your number one tool. We have to get out of our head and get into our bodies so that we could then tune in to our soul, to our higher self, so that we could use our body and its messages and its sensations to guide us through life and through healing. So that is what I wanted to share with you all today. I will see you next week on the flip side, and I'll see you in the group all week. Okay, Mwah. Bye.